Hot off the heels of the possible pricing controversy in regards to Grand Theft Auto 6, we have some breaking news coming from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. Let's get into it. Famed reporter, formerly of Kotaku and now currently at Bloomberg, Jason Schreier had a lot to say about Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm going to read off all the bullet points of the things that he talked about. This broke less than an hour ago, so let's get into it. First thing he talks about, he says the last he heard, the game was not content complete. He believes it's really hard to say right now if the game will release in November and doesn't think anyone at Rockstar is 100% certain they'll make it. This release date feels a little bit more real than fall 2025 or May 2026 did. However, the developers are still finalizing missions, adding stuff and deciding what makes it into the final game. He hopes they're done with that soon so that they can start the bug fixing phase. He goes on to say that Rockstar can't settle for anything less than perfection as the stakes are high. The entire stock of Take-Two lives or dies on this game. They would rather let it slip again than release it in a compromised state. Take-Two's fiscal year also ends in late March 2027, so they have a little bit of a buffer if they still want to release the game in the same fiscal year. He goes on to say that he says PlayStation is the main platform for the game, and Sony is planning its entire lineup around it. In regards to Jason's final statement there, where he says that PlayStation is the main platform for the game, and Sony is planning its entire lineup around it, well, I actually had reported that 2 years ago, where I said that Sony had the marketing rights for the game. They also had some bundle rights for the game. Not saying that Microsoft does not have any plans for bundles. I do not know any of that information right now. However, I did know about the Sony one. And the thing is, if you have to realize, is that Sony is going to hold the majority of the sales of Grand Theft Auto 6, therefore going to treat it like a first-party title. They are going to make tens of millions, if not over time, hundreds of millions of dollars off of this game. How do you say? Well, it's not just going to be for the sale of the single player game. Sony's bread and butter has not really been their exclusives per se. Their bread and butter has been the 85% casual market out there who not only purchase these games but play a lot of Fortnite, play a lot of Call of Duty, and play a lot of GTA Online as well. Shark cards, skins, DLC. This is where their real bread and butter is. The exclusives, as they have mentioned many times before, is just to draw people to the ecosystem. Once they're in the ecosystem, that is where they get them with that 30% cut. So what happens is, well, over time, GTA Online has been making billions of dollars at this point, and as a result of that, Sony takes their 30% cut for being the platform owner. This shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Look at last year, for example, for Black Ops 6 Call of Duty, is that 84% of the sales were on the PlayStation 5. So it would lead anybody to believe, using logic, that Sony will treat this as a first-party title, as it will dominate the sales and, of course, the attention of the consumer. Even late as this morning, I would have said 100% that Rockstar is going to make this November 2026 deadline. However, hearing everything that Jason Schreier's had to say, I'm starting to have doubts that this game is even going to make the 2026 deadline. But now that's going to cause a whole new set of problems if indeed it does not hit that target. And if it does not hit that target, that's going to once again change the trajectory of the release schedules of all these incredible games that we have coming out for 2026. So if there is going to be a delay yet again, they're going to have to say something soon, because these other companies, for example, Microsoft has a bunch of big AAA games coming up. Sony has a few AAA games coming up, and they're going to have to work around it. Again, once I had spoken about, is that Sony's going to treat this like a first-party title. Therefore, it's going to be part of their release cadence, or they're going to act and treat it like it's part of their release cadence. And then, of course, Microsoft doesn't want to release their games anywhere near it. For example, your Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, your Gears of War E-Day. We already know that Forza's coming in the first half of the year. You've got Sony with Wolverine. So these are all things that are now hanging in the air once again based on this information. Now, I want to know what you think. Do you think it's going to get delayed yet again into 2027 and be just another bitter disappointment from the Rockstar team in terms of trying to get this game out the door? Or do you think it hits that November 2026 deadline? Let me know in the comments. Either way, have a great night. Stay magnificent. We'll talk to y'all real soon. Bye now.